It's been 90 days since I cut out sugar, and you'd think I would be feeling amazing, look completely different, and at least dropped a few pounds. And honestly, I thought I was going to drop at least 10 pounds like within a few weeks of cutting out sugar. But here's the thing, I weigh exactly the same. I don't really feel too much different, and honestly, things changed that I was never expecting. My main expectation of this was like, okay, I'm cutting out sugar, let the pounds melt away. I thought I was gonna have like way more energy within the first weeks. I would literally have like no cravings. This isn't the first time that I've actually given up sugar. I've done this many times over the last like 10 years, and every time I've developed this sense of what it's going to be like, so I kind of know what to expect. The first 3 or 4 days are literally the worst. You get like this horrible headache. You feel like you can't think straight. You just like think about sugar all the time, and it's like, okay, what dessert do I want? Like, what can I do? But by the time you wake up, like on the 5th day, cravings are gone. I don't really want sugar. And that lasts for a while, actually. But what I didn't expect was being gung-ho for like that first 3 weeks, and it was like, okay, this feels really good. I can do this. So the reality is that in your 40s, your metabolism slows down, and it's a lot more difficult to actually lose weight because of it. You naturally lose muscle mass, and then your hormones change. So this kind of helped me put into perspective, like, it's normal for the weight not to fall off. I just didn't realize how hard it was going to be in my 40s for this to happen. And it's just super frustrating because I've talked about like weighing myself on the scale before, and I do it incessantly, and I know that that's not a healthy habit. But like, I cannot not weigh myself and then a few days later step on the scale and then I'm like, holy crap, I've just gained like 5 pounds. Like, that would be a complete and mental like breakdown and disappointment that I can't go through that again. After the first month, I started realizing the sugar cravings were gone, but I actually was having different cravings. So like, the cravings didn't go away, they just changed to something else. What that was, like, I actually really started wanting like nuts. So I eat different kinds of nuts all the time, and I really like fruit. Now, I know like some people are gonna be like, fruit turns to glucose in your body and that's sugar anyways. But I'm like, okay with eating that. I'm not following a specific diet. I am cutting out added sugars. Yes, I need to clean up my diet a little bit more than what I did because I still eat like rice. I don't eat a lot of bread. Like, I have had 10 years of like nutrition and looking into that stuff. So I know exactly what to do. I know how to balance that. And for me personally, like cold turkey, like carnivore or keto, like that does not work long term for me. It results in a binge. So I just finding a way to have balance. So like halfway into this challenge, it's like, okay, I have a sugar addiction, but when I cut out sugar addiction, then I just have like a food addiction. I started doing like a journal and tracking like times when I really wanted to eat, and big like binge days or like days where I just ate a lot was tied to emotions and like having things happen in life that like everybody goes through. Like, emotions started like triggering my cravings. So I always thought sugar was just a bad habit, but turns out it was like my way of coping with stress and being bored. Oh, my hair is so thin. Oh. So the hardest part of losing weight as a sugarholic is the slow progress. It feels like it takes forever. And I kind of started wondering the first month, like, why am I even doing this? Thankfully, I was like, I can't actually stop. Like, I need to keep going with this. Yeah, I should see major changes, but it's gonna take time, and I mean, I have nothing but time, so I can either give up or I can just choose to keep on going. I really had to learn to be patient and just, like, trust that, like, my body was changing even if I couldn't see the changes. But you know what was really hard some of these times? Being invited to go over to a friend's house, and we were, like, sitting around the fireplace, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I made monkey bread." If you don't know what monkey bread is, it's basically, like, some biscuits cut up, and then you put, like, cinnamon and sugar, and, it's just, like, this ooey gooey deliciousness. It felt horrible, like, I felt guilty. I should have some of this because she made it, and she was so excited about it, and I was like, "I love monkey bread." But then it was, like, later on in the evening, I was like, "Yeah, I couldn't." Everybody was like, "This is so good," and I'm like, "Okay, somebody else is eating it, doesn't have to be me, and that's okay." And just, like, explaining, like, "Yeah, I know, like, if I even take, like, one bite of that, I'm going to sit there and, like, eat the entire thing." Yeah, I didn't wanna hurt her feelings, but it was okay for me to, like, not have any of that because it's more about, like, how I'm gonna feel, like, if I'm gonna eat it and not about her. So as I was tracking these emotions, it's kind of become easier now after these 90 days is over that I can kind of recognize a feeling. So like if I'm like, okay, I'm feeling super stressed. I'm really gonna want something to eat. I know like on those days or like if I have a conversation and it's hard or I'm feeling sad, like I know I'm gonna want to eat more. So it's really nice to have become aware of these emotions and to like, I have to make a conscious decision. Okay, you can't just sit here and, like, go eat your feelings. Like, that's not okay, even if it's not sugar. By the way, there's some really good no sugar added desserts, and I have come to love having an apple and some peanut butter. I want it, like, every single night, and I've noticed that that is now my craving. Like, peanut butter should be its own food group. I love it. But that is my craving now. Instead of sugar, it's apple. Ugh, somebody's gonna eat if keyboard warrior me and be like, "That's still sugar, you can't eat that." An apple is okay for me to eat. I love it. And I have like, I've discovered, like, a few ways to do, like, sugar-free desserts. I still haven't screwed up. Well, thinking of it as, like, screwing up is bad too, because you can't really screw up if you're making, like, a conscious choice and moving forward, okay? I have come to realize, like, to know the triggers, these emotional triggers, and just to make the conscious decision of, "Okay, let's have some of this is gonna be satisfying, like, 1 apple, not 2," or whatever like that. Like, it's still about, like, finding that balance, and then I've realized you don't have to celebrate with food. I have these pants in the closet that I'm trying on like once every month just to like see the progress because maybe it's making progress in my body and like my body is getting healthier and the scale might not be moving, but my body composition could still be changing. So I went and I was trying on these pants and I was like, these aren't going to go on. And I was pleasantly surprised that they went higher than what I thought. I didn't think I was going to get them over like halfway above my thighs. I was busy at the time, like actually editing a video, and I was like, okay, I didn't celebrate with that with food. Like emotionally, I felt happy and excited, and I didn't have to turn to food for that day. And it was like eye opening to me that it's like I could just be proud of myself, like look in the mirror and be like, hey, you did a really great job with that. Like, way to go, you. Like, yee, a happy dance party for myself. Losing weight as a sugarholic isn't just about cutting out sugar. It's about like learning and expecting that other things are going to change too. And kind of things that I feel like sugar was like helping me hide about myself that I didn't realize. So that means this is a long game. Things are not going to change overnight and things may not happen as quickly as I want them to. I did this in order to get healthier because I was researching sugar and like how bad sugar is for you. There's a hair on my arm and I can't get it off. So that was what ultimately drove my decision about cutting out sugar. And this is going to be a really lifetime and long-term change. Did things happen in 90 days? No, but I'm going to keep going. And knowing that my metabolism is going slower, I am going to look into finding like some vitamins, like some natural supplements to kind of help speed up that metabolism. And one of the main things that I read is that you need to do like weights to like build up the muscle. So that is my plan, and that plan starts today. I hope that this helps you realize some of the changes if you're struggling with losing weight or sugar addiction and changing your body. You should watch this video up here if you want to see how I tracked my emotional triggers and what were the things that I learned about making me want to eat more food.